Hello, welcome back to College Cuisine. I'm your host, Sean Hogan, and I'm here to show you some recipes, tips, and tricks to not starve while you're pursuing higher learning. All right, here's the deal. Today I'm going to be talking about breakfast, the most important meal of the day. It's not up for debate. If you do not have a meal to get you going, that 9 a.m. class, 10 a.m. class is going to be a bitch to get through. Coffee just does not cut it in this department. So, here's what we're going to do. We are going to make a little meal I like to call the egg ham and cheese bagel. All right. Now, this is actually really easy to do. It's portable, which is what I love about it. So when you're rushing out the door, barely awake, you can just cook this up. It takes about 5 minutes, and then you'll be out the door and eating it on the way to class. Or you could save it for later. Here's the deal. You can put anything you want in this. It is that simple. If it's a meat product, make sure it's pre-cooked in some form or fashion. If it's vegetables, you can, as long as you can tolerate it raw, just chop it up in there and toss it in, all right? This is also great for adding leftovers for breakfast. You will need 2 to 3 eggs, all right? You will need some sort of meat product to put in there. This is ham. This is what I'm going to be using for today, but if you're thinking to yourself, I can't have bacon, guess what? They have products for college students like us. This is microwave ready bacon. It's already pre-cooked. You just toss it in the microwave for a couple seconds and bam, you got bacon. Bagel. You can either toast it or not toast it depending on your preference. I honestly prefer non-toasted because I think it holds together better. And I'm just not a big toast kind of guy. But if you're allowed to have a toaster, it's so easy to just toast a bagel, all right? A stick of butter. We're not going to be using the whole stick. We're just going to be using this to butter the bowl that we put the eggs in. And yes, you will need a bowl. We have the fork for whisking the bowl. And for our ham today, we have a cutting board and we have a knife suitable for my needs. Here I have a water bottle because for those of you who are like, man, I like eggs, but I really like my eggs white. I don't like to have the yolk in there. I think it's too fatty. I'm going to show you a neat little trick for extracting the yolk from the egg whites without that messy back and forth. All right, this is the quickest way I know possible to do that. What you need to do first is actually grab your butter, all right? And you're going to take the bowl that you're going to mix the eggs in. You're going to just lightly butter your bowl. You're going to take it and you're just going to smear it on the inside. If you have clean hands, which I do, you can actually use your hands to kind of smear the butter around. You want to evenly coat the bowl without making it too buttery. And basically you're just guaranteeing that the eggs don't stick to the inside of the bowl. Now this is going to do two things. This is going to help you cook the eggs in the microwave, but it's also going to serve as your mold for your egg patty because it's going to make a neat little egg patty when you're done with it. And as you can see, I've measured it so that it will fit nicely inside my bagel. So you will take your 2 to 3 eggs. All right, I'm going to use 3. I'm a bigger guy. That's just how I like my eggs. Crack it inside the bowl. 3 eggs. All right. Here's where my little handy trick comes into play. If you are one of those people who does not like egg yolks in their eggs, this is how you do it, all right? I'm going to show you on this plate here how to extract the egg yolk from the egg white. Now, this only works with fresh eggs because the yolk is actually still intact with that membrane around the outside. So see it just flopping around over there. You're going to take your water bottle, which hopefully, unlike mine, is completely devoid of water, and you're just going to squeeze it a little bit like that. All right, and then you're going to use the suction from the bottle to, boom, suck up the egg yolk. And look at that, separated egg yolk from egg white. All right? So no more complaining about not being able to get egg whites. Take your eggs and beat them. Now, when you're beating eggs, it's just important to, especially with fresh eggs, stab at the yolk a good couple of times because there's that membrane separating it from the whites, and you really want to break that up. So stab the egg yolk a a couple times with a fork, because with a whisk it's a lot easier. You beat it up a lot nicer and neatly. But if you're going to use a fork, because you're a poor college student, stab the egg yolks number of times and then whisk with the fork briskly. What you're looking for is an even pale yellow color throughout and no clear spots, all right? So this may take you a couple seconds, depending on how fast you whisk. Now, this is when you will contemplate what other products you will want to put in there. If you want any meat products, I'm going to be using ham. It's pre-cooked. You will want to take out your ham and add it to the mixture now. For me, this is this is sandwich meat, so it comes out in this stringy form. I'm just going to take it and roll it up so it's easier to cut. And on my cutting board, I'm just going to slice some ham. Now, let me talk to you guys about cutting technique, all right? The proper form to cut meat is to use your knuckles, kind of like as a guide for the knife, with your fingernails closer to the outside. So using the front of your knuckles to cut. Let me get closer to show. When you cut, you want to have your fingers like so, and you're using your thumb, keep your thumb out of the way, and you're using your thumb to push whatever you're cutting along. And you're going to use the flat of the knife against your fingernails. You're going to cut, and this will guarantee that you will never cut yourself while you're cutting. Also, make sure you have a nice sharp knife. Otherwise, you will cut yourself. Using that technique that I just showed you, just slice your meat into ribbons. If you have bacon, you can just lay the bacon strips down on the bagel ahead of time. But right now, I'm going to cut this up. And I'm going to make it nice and even and uniform. Cut it in the strips first, turn it the other way, and then cut it into little chunks. There, and now just deposit that into my egg mixture. Now, mix that in thoroughly so that the ham is thoroughly spread throughout. You'll end up with something that doesn't look 100% appetizing, but it's a mix of ham and eggs. You're going to pop it in your microwave, and depending on the temperature of your microwave, it'll be about 1 minute to 5 minutes in the microwave of cooking before this turns into a delicious egg patty. So depending on your microwave, it should take you about 1 to 5 minutes. Mine took about 5 roughly. What you might notice is that on the top, some of the egg might be uncooked. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to take your fork and you're going to flip it over in the microwave, and then you're going to cook it for the rest of the amount of time it needs to for the egg to get cooked through. Now, before you pull out the bowl's going to be really hot. You just had it in the microwave for 1 to 5 minutes, so be careful with that. Careful of any of the steam coming up from it. But when you're done, your finished product should be a delicious egg patty. What you're going to do is you're going to take your fork, you're going to cut along the outside of the egg, and if you did your job right, it shouldn't stick very much. It should just come right out. All right, and rather than picking it up like this, what I like to do is I like to take the bottom of the bagel. I like to take the bottom of the bagel and just slide it on there, turn it over, and pull the bowl off. There you go. You have your nice egg patty. Mine's a little bit larger because I used more than 3 eggs. I put the egg whites from one of the eggs back into the bowl. So this is about a 4 egg one. So as you can see, it's quite large. Yours will be smaller if you use 2 to 3. And now you can put some cheese on top of it. It's still steaming, so it'll melt the cheese nice. And then you just pop the top on there. Wrap this bad boy in a paper towel, and it's now a portable breakfast. You can take it with you to your first day of class. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I hope some of you use this technique. And I will see you for the next episode, where we'll figure out something else to do. Thank you very much.